Um, I let the workshop structure a lot for me, and I think that that has helped a ton because now instead of having to set up and maintain a structure, I just have to adhere to one. And there's something about, like, I'm definitely someone who struggles a bit with completionism, right? Like, so I want to check all the boxes. I want to be complete by the time. I do well with the deadline. And so for me, that's been really, really effective. It's not the prompt sort of guide. I love the structural ones because I feel like those are the things that break me out of patterns. I have a lot of stuff that I know I'm comfortable with, I've gotten good at, I like to draw from it. I like to do those long stories without a lot of breaks. I really like anaphora and certain types of repetition. And so anytime something comes up that sort of says, cool, try this instead, those are the ones I get really excited about. Big picture feedback is always great for me. How did you feel about the story? What did you take away from it? I find that getting a sense of how somebody interpreted the story will help me decide if that's the direction I wanted it to go in. I think especially writing about things that have to do with class and social distinctions and gender and so on, there usually is an intent that you want someone to take away, and then sometimes it doesn't land, right? You're like, that is not the direction I meant to write in. So I love knowing what people thought, like what they felt. I'm a very vibes-driven writer, thing out of workshop community and give something back to workshop community without giving feedback in every single piece, on commenting in every single victory. Like, you don't have to be like one with the workshop for it to be valuable in both directions. And I think, having a sense of what you want to get out of it, and then being open to that changing, right? When I first started, it was, I just really want to start writing again. I want to stop banging my head against old drafts over and over and over again. I want to move forward. And so that has shifted from, okay, cool, I have a very good writing process. My output, I'm very comfortable with. I can accept that it dips under certain constraints, right? And now it's, hey, I want to keep focusing on initial story structure, right? Like just bringing things together and building muscle memory and so on. And so I think as long as you kind of know, here's one thing I'd like to be able to do or do more of or do better or do differently, you can build on that. And honestly, I think that I tell people too who are really worried about it, like, you're not going to be the only person who has time constraints or who is going through it sometimes or who needs a minute. And sometimes it's nice just to have that community when it is happening to say, hey folks, I don't think I'm going to get to feedback until later this week because X, Y, and Z is going on. And then if you can let yourself be a little bit vulnerable to being human with a group of people, that it's kind of good overall. And in the long run, I think it's also good for your writing because it strips away a little bit more of that pressure to perform when you get that sort of remembrance of we're all people and we're all trying to help each other out, and perfection isn't real.